device. So we're gonna compensate with it. Okay.
True.
Yeah.
What?
Sounds pretty easy.
So it's E?
Actually, false.
Oh.
If we're talking number 11,
What?
I should never descend or ascend without a reference that I can follow or make contact with.
Well, you can't.
So what they're talking about is like a descent line off the back of a boat. Okay? Well, anywhere I've been diving, except for, no, anywhere I've been diving, we'll all hop off the boat and stay at the surface in a group. Now, do we need to grab a line one after the other? And Scuba, do you want to go? No. No, we don't. We can actually all just free descend together, using each other as a little bit of a reference, but you don't actually have to have a rope that you're going down. Now, there have been other dives, like a wreck dive that I've done, that has a mooring line, and I could hold that mooring line and go down, but I don't have to actually have a reference line that I go down. What? You just had this epiphany.
No, it was a trick question.
It always is.
Holding on to this reference. I'm
Can
thinking the
we do
other idea where you need to have a reference point before you descend.
Right. Right. So sometimes the way they word this is to make you think. I think it more trips you up. So yeah, always read the whole question and think about it. So number 12, as a prudent conservative diver, the following are normal parts of my ascents going up. And I will tell you which one it is and I'll tell you why. It's A, C, and D. A, you don't want to go up faster than 60 feet per minute. Okay? Because the nitrogen bubbles that are in your bloodstream, they're going to expand and you can cause yourself problems. As long as you go up slowly and conservatively, you're able to off-gas that nitrogen better, okay? Before you do a 3-minute safety stop at 15 feet. So don't go up too fast. And everybody asks me, well, how do I know how fast that is? Do I have to have a watch and my gauges and all of that? No. When you exhale, bubbles come out of that, out of your regulator, right? Out of the exhaust. All different sizes. Don't go up faster than your smallest ones. They're about as big as a number 2 pencil lead. Those bubbles, that size, are always slower than 60 feet per minute. It's more conservative, so it's a good rule of thumb.
What bubbles go up the fastest?
The bigger ones.
Okay, so don't go up faster than your slowest bubble.
Than your smallest bubbles, exactly.
Or slowest bubble.
Are we going to be splitting hairs here on slow and small?
I don't want to be, I'm going to be number 2 pencil. Anyway, no, we won't be splitting
And that's a
hairs.
foot.
Don't go up faster than your smallest bubbles.
And that's a
There you
foot
go.
per second.
It is
So
a
this
foot
is
per
like
second, so let's think about that. A foot per second is quite a
1,000.
bit.
You're only going this far.
Pretty fast.
1,001.
Yeah,
1,002.
You got to work to go up faster than that, right?
Most of these young kids, no, they'll be,
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the big flippers out.
Yeah, in fact, you got to try to not go up fast.
you actually
Whether
have to try.
if you're kicking, you're going faster than that.
Yeah.
Or if you inflate your
Or if you put
BCD,
air in your BCD
you'll
and
just be like,
and it's expanding, that
yeah.
air is expanding, you'll go up too fast, you'll go up like a little ballistic missile. You gotta actually let some air out of that BCD as you're going up so you don't go up too fast as the air expands. And then C, stop for 3 minutes at 15 feet because you're under enough pressure that it's keeping those nitrogen bubbles in solution in your bloodstream as you're just able to naturally off gas and just by breathing. Also, you're not deep enough that you're taking on a whole bunch more nitrogen. So 15 to 20 feet from the surface at the end of a dive is great.
Do you have a dive meter that's telling you depth?
On the 3-gauge console, the depth gauge in the middle actually does have a swing needle that you can see where it's at. If you dive with a dive professional, they're usually going to have a dive computer, and their dive computer starts counting down at 20 feet, which is kind of cool. So then it gives me time to do. Or, you know, chicken dance or something, I don't know. 3 minutes is a very long time to be quiet and still. It's like being stuck in the corner on timeout. I don't like it. All right. And then the D, adjusting my buoyancy in small amounts frequently. Like I said, you'll have to let a little bit of air out of that BCD because as we go up, it's going to expand. Okay? All right, number 13. While boat diving, my buddy and I finish our safety stop and we ascend to the surface. When I reach the surface, I should. Now, all three of these are the same answer, but in a different order. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is going to be C. As soon as your head comes out of that water, the first thing you want to do is inflate your VCD, because we want to be able to float and not have to struggle, right? Then we'll switch to our snorkel if we've got a snorkel on. And then we'll signal to the boat, I'm okay. So you could do this and say you're okay, but if the boat's a ways away and you're wearing a black glove and black wetsuit, they may never see your hand. They'll go, You do this, do it too fast, they won't see it. So you make a capital okay or ballerina okay or whatever you want to call it. Big okay from a distance. Okay? So
Or
those are three kind of okays.
Or just one hand,
Just one hand?
right? Can't you
Yeah.
just do one hand?
You can do that. I have long nails, so this is like, ow. So I'll do that.
Okay.
You were
Okay.
class?
Huh?
Another one.
All right. Number 14, match the letter with the characteristics of the exposure suit. And it will go B, A, C. So the first one, insulation provided by a layer of air and an undergarment, that's a dry suit. Air is going to keep you dry, and you've got an undergarment, okay? So dry suit. The second one, proper fit is important to keep water trapped against my body. That's a wetsuit. Water's against my body, I'm wet. It's a wetsuit. And then the last one, little or no insulation, is nothing more than a rash guard. Just lycra, kind of like a swimsuit, okay? Or a bodysuit. So those make sense? Because you might see them on a quiz or an exam. So air, dry, wetsuit, wet. All right? Number 15, which of the following can be a problem before the dive when diving on a warm day in a wetsuit or a dry suit? I'm gonna let you guys answer this one.
Hypothermia.
Overheating?
Hmm?
Did you say hypothermia?
Warm day,
Hypothermia?
which is black. And you're
We're
in the
entering the
No.
water.
Don't be joking, I'm like, what?
Entering the water.
No,
Before in-
overheating.
before the
So
dive.
you get a big old rubber suit on and you're out in the summertime. So let's say we were at the lake in the summertime. The water is cool at depth, so we're gonna put you in a wetsuit. But you got a black rubber suit on and you're standing in 115-degree water. Okay, today, I will use today as a perfect example. I went and did a school talk, that's why I got some kind of stain on my shoulder. Anyway, I did a school talk for first graders at a school at McDowell and 67th Avenue. And so the teacher's like, could you wear your scuba gear? Sure I can. So I put on my 3mm wetsuit at the dive shop. And I'm like, sure, I'll put on my boots, again, neoprene. And I put my gear together, my kit together, and I just set it on the seat and off I went. Well, I sat there talking, or stood there, talking to kids with a BCD on and a tank and all of my garb on for about an hour and a half. My hair is dripping. It was toasty. These kids are comfy. They're having a great time. I am dying in this suit. And then I get back in my car and I drive back, air conditioned, full blast, still sweating like nobody's business.
Did you jump in
So-
the pool after that?
No, I did not, because I had to put on my real clothes and become a dive shop owner. But just wearing that wetsuit and not doing a whole lot of moving around, even being indoors, I was sweating like no other. Those things insulate like really well. It's hot. Hot stuff. So yeah, overheating.
So do you, even in the tropics, is the water cool down at depth?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
So you wear a pretty light dive suit or wetsuit or?
A wetsuit, I'm kind of a diva. I'm a pansy, and so like in February when we go to Cozumel, water's about 78 degrees. I'll wear a 3mm suit
Yeah.
because I'm doing like 15 or 20 dives in a week, and my body, my core
Yeah.
gets a little.
It's the amount of time that you're under the temperature below your body temperature.
Right, that's exactly it. But when I go in September, the water's 82 to 84, I'm like, I'll usually wear a rash guard and shorts and I'm fine. So, yes, sir?
I was just thinking, it's one of the things that I actually did on the submarine was measure the temperature at various different depths, and it was wacky. Is the best way of saying it.
I'll call it wacky. Like Lake Pleasant right now, at the, it's 62 degrees at the surface, but when you get down to about 40 feet, there's a thermocline. When you get deeper than that, there's another thermocline. And I think probably at 200 feet, you're talking 40 degrees or below for water temps. It's cold, but I don't go there. You're talking about cold.
Even swimming in 62 degrees, it gets cold pretty quick.
It gets cold, really.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think.
I don't
Yeah,
swim in
that's
62
craziness. What are you doing?
Oceanside was 68.
That's why I wear a wetsuit at
And see,
Oceanside.
I wore a
wear-
wetsuit to swim in it.
I know, but how thick was your wetsuit on a triathlete?
It's-
Not very.
It's a 3.
It's a 3. If I was in 68 degree water, I'm going in a 7.
Oh,
The thick
you want a
stuff.
thick one.
It's like kid from Toy Story,
I can't
or
put
from
my arms
Christmas Story.
down.
I can't put my arms down. I don't care. I'm gonna be warm underwater, man. All right. Number 16. If I only have one cutting tool, whether that be a scissor or a knife, whatever, the recommendation is that I wear it where blank hand can reach it.
Either, see.
Either. Because a lot of people will say my dominant hand, but what if my dominant hand is trapped up against something?
So it's both. It's not either. I mean, it's not. I was thinking it meant you can put it wherever you want, so one hand can reach it. You want it where both hands can reach it.
Yeah, that's worded incorrectly.
Yes?
Okay, I just
Yes.
So the answer is A, B,
Well,
or
it is
D.
worded.
But the answer is D, because I don't have both on there, I just have either. But yes, where
Okay, that's
both
what it
hands
is.
can get it, yes.
They spell it B-O-F, both of them.
Both.
Both of them.
It's like my birthday. Both birthday. Never
I
mind.
live on Earth.
Oh, that's the end.
Earth.
Doggone,
Earth
sign
Day.
and date the bottom. Yay, I did okay on time again.
Man,
Woohoo!
I know, man.
I am really conscious of trying to make sure that I keep the time down and not a whole lot of yapping with you guys, and I apologize. But I know that your time is precious, so I don't
Makes it
want to
less
mess it up.
boring.
Hmm?
Makes it less boring when you like actually
Agreed.
talk and do things. But if it was just like straightforward, it could be like,
I enjoyed it this week. It was much better than last.
ooh.
what am I missing?
Oh, on that note. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Sound fun.
Did chapter 1 bring up any stuff? No?
Yeah, any questions you guys have?
Crickets up here.
Any of those
So why do you
topics
drive on a
that
park
were,
road in a driveway?
So, do you mind telling us a story?
I love to tell you stories.
Okay, tell us about a time when somebody was in serious trouble on a dive.
Dead guy.
Oh, I have a question.
How serious
Did you carry a
trouble
dead person?
on a dive?
They did actually do that.
Well,
I told her that
you just
story,
let 'em
she
float
knew
up.
what it was.
Tell
Well,
us most serious trouble. you
The
can
most
think
serious trouble wasn't my diver, but I'll tell you about it. It was the Belize trip where the lady got
of.
the
Okay?
freckles
So
on her eyes.
So you're going deep.
We did. We went to the blue hole. Okay, but it's a cave. It was a cave that the roof collapsed in.
Oh.
It's 415 feet deep, I think, and at about 135 feet, it goes straight down, and then it makes an alcove. And you've got stalactites and stalagmites that are gigunda. And you go down and you swim through them, and then you come right back up because it's such a deep depth. But it wasn't on that dive day. We did a 3-dive day to Turniff Elbow, and dive site doesn't really matter. There were probably 22 of us on the dive boat, so they broke us up into 3 groups. All of us got on the boat early, and there was one couple that was there late. And it was a gentleman and his wife, and he was a pretty good-sized guy, very muscular, very